Hello guys, Joker the Fool back at it again with the 114th episode of the Braxcast. And sorry I didn't do a live stream last night. I was actually out having a social life, and the Cursed and the Black Eyed Club reviews are very much going to come soon. I do have Alpha Core 2, so we're going to go over the Alpha Core cover. So this is cover A, and I will be reviewing this along with Alpha Core number 1 in the coming days, maybe even tomorrow on Sunday. But I've been very far behind on all the stuff I say I'm going to do, so no promises. But this is cover B right here, this pretty epic shot of Brian Solari getting shot at. Absolutely love it. We got cover C, which is the foiled and embossed cover of Ingrid Valdez. Absolutely love it. Fantastic stuff, as always, from the foiled and embossed covers. And of course, this is the mass print cover right here. We do finally have Alpha Core number 2, and like I said, I will be reading and reviewing this very shortly. I just got to get the reviews for Black Eyed Club and The Cursed out, which I will do. But there is also some other news, and this is basically the only really big story that I've seen with the Rippaverse is that we've got one pre-order that has released, and it is Crotalus, Cold Blood. So the Rippaverse is getting its first Western story. This is apparently taking place years ago in the mountains of Captains, New Mexico. So the main character is Crotalus. He's known as Rattlesnake. I believe there's like some sort of, I'm not sure if it's a Navajo gang. I forget the exact name, but this is going to be a 56-pager by Mike Barron, who wrote Gooding. He's also did a Punisher run in the 80s. He did Nexus. He's a absolute legend in the comic book industry. He's done a bunch of indie books as well, stuff like Florida Man. He did Thin Blue Line, which I read. I didn't review it, but it's a fantastic book. So all that to say is that Mike Barron's a fantastic writer, and of course, for the Rippaverse, this isn't his first outing, as he did write Gooding the Polymath, which I did do a review of, and that was a fantastic book. But we've also got Gleedson Ribeiro as the artist for this book, and Vinicius Townsend, if I'm saying that correctly, as the colorist. And of course, Invisible Art Studio is doing the lettering. And I'll say this again, or if I say this first time, August 21st is when the pre-order cutoff is the day for the pre-order cutoff. And then the 27th of October is when the book is releasing. There's going to be a bunch of stuff releasing on that day. I've seen that date pop up before, but we'll go over the covers now. We've got Lucas Assissis and Tato Cabarello as the colorist for cover A. Cover B is Gleedson Ribeiro and Vicious Townsend, the artist and colorist for the interior art, are teaming up to do cover B. And we've got Ricardo Jamie and Prasad Rao on cover C. And there's no cover D. It's only 3 covers so far, which is definitely nice for the wallet. And this is apparently going to be a pre-Exclave story, as this is a prequel. Not necessarily a prequel to anything, but it's before the current timeline. So probably taking place around maybe even before the Great War of Separation takes place years ago, from my understanding. And it's this main character, Crotalus, known as Rattlesnake, taking on a gang in the mountains of Captains, New Mexico. So this is very much a classic Western story. I think Mike Barron is going to do a fantastic job with it, but really not much to say. Can't really even print out any sort of like interior art. They're not doing interior previews like they did with collections and campaigns, which is one thing that, like, if there are going to do with the pre-order format, is give us some previews so we can speculate, just look at the art a little bit, because it's just basically looking at the Braxcast logo while I read out the information and just say, hey guys, this is the information about the book. But it's really all the big news. Alpha Core 2, like I said, is fulfilling, so I wanted to show off those covers since I got those. And of course, we got one pre-order, or trying to get one out by the end of for the end of this week. That did not end up happening, so probably going to have 1 or 2 pre-orders next week, so stay tuned for that. Definitely going to go back with a live stream, so if you're looking for a live stream this Friday, or last Friday, I ought to say yesterday, because I'm posting this on Saturday. I highly apologize. I had a bit of a social event I wanted to go to, so instead of being holed up in my room, or my apartment, I ought to say, at this point. I actually went out and I did something on Friday night, which was nice. But that aside, that's all I really have to say about the Rippaverse for this week. So Crotalus Cold Blood, Mike Barron doing more writing. It's not the Delta Force book that was talked about at the Rippaverse, so I'm really excited for that. Maybe this story will tie into it. Very skeptical that will be the case, but who knows? But other than that, that's all I have for you guys. So hopefully you guys enjoy this episode of the Braxcast. Joker is out.
Thank you for tuning in to the Braxcast. Be sure to like, comment, follow, and subscribe to keep up with the Rippaverse.